Hi everyone. So today here we are discussing about one of the important and very regular concept that is called as a forms. In SAP technical guy, as an SAP ABAPer of technical guy, we people regularly has to be interact with the functional specifications or else functional requirements. Say for example in our project, one functional team will be there like as a sales. The sales team is the functional team, and regularly they are giving the one requirement to our ABAP team. What they are asking that if the sales if it is an inquiry or any quotation or any order has been done in the sales department, but it is okay whenever it has been done, the client is asking about these of the outputs. It has to be comes into the one output. But what was happened that whatever the SAP system which is already having the predefined output format, that predefined output format which is not accepted by the client, then automatically the gap has been generated. That means simply we can say that the SAP system is already having some of the outputs, and for the client is not accepting or not satisfied with that output. That means what we can say that whatever the SAP system is there and the client is requirement is there, in between of those two the gap has been generated. The gap has been generated. Now what we have to do that whenever the gap has been generated with the functionals to the SAP system, that gap has been given to the ABAPer. Now what we have to do that in the sense of the gap has been generated from the functional module to the SAP system regarding about of their outputs. How to fulfill that gap? So as an ABAPer, you can fulfill those of the things by using the simplest tools, which is called as a forms. And in these forms, what we are doing that we are preparing the business docs, which is called as a business documents. So each and every business document having the output. Say for example of the business documents, say for example of the purchase order, or else sales order, or else delivery note, or else the payment notice, and even there is a lot of the business documents will be there. But for those of the business documents, for each and every business document there should be an output will be there. That output will not be defined by the SAP system. Even if the SAP system is having that output also, the client is not satisfying with that, then what we have to do that for that business documents we can create the outputs by using the forms. And here the forms has been separated in the two ways on SAP system. The first one, scripts, and the second one, smart forms. Both are used for the same procedure. The purpose is the same for the both, but their usage is the different. That means their preparation is the different and their working is the same. Say, what is the difference in between the scripts and smart forms? First of all, let me check it out. In the scripts, it contains a multiple of the windows. Fine. In the same thing here also we can have the same thing. And even here in the scripts, we can't get the data. Sorry, in the scripts we can't add the colors and the lines to the windows, but that can be possible in the smart forms. And even in the scripts, totally it wasn't a traditional. That means each and every window, like as in a logo, header, footer and everything, we need to maintain with the measurements manually. But here just it is a drag and drop. Like that, when creation of a forms, comparing with the scripts in the smart forms is the easy. But regularly we are using the scripts only. But let me, not a problem at all. We can discuss about of the both of the things. Whatever the scripts and whatever the smart forms. First of all, let's have a discussion of the scripts. So, say for example, if the client is asking about of the one of the form. This is the form, which is called as a script form. And what I'm giving the form name as a ZPO form. ZP order. Z purchase order, the form name itself. Under this purchase order, first of all, the form has been prepared. Under that form, what we have to do. So, in the form, the second step, what we have to do that, we need to create the pages. Why? Because under the form, we can have a multiple of the pages also. That means, in one output, I can have a multiple of the pages also. Here, I have taken the 2 pages. Even we can take the 4 pages or 10 pages or whatever it was. Say here I have taken the P1 and P2. 2 pages which I have taken. Fine. And even in the third page, whatever the windows we required. First one, what is the form name and how many pages we required and what are the windows you required. So in the windows, which I said that I am in require of the logo, header, footer and a name. These are the windows I required. Say for example, of which I am maintaining as a W1, W2, W3 and a W4. And in the fourth step, what I want to do that, page windows. That means in the page 1, we have prepared already 2 pages. In the page 1, what are the windows you required? So in the page 1, what I am saying that I am in require the W1, W2, W3 and W4 also. That means in the page windows, what we have to do is that we need to mention that in this page I require these of the windows. Even in the page 2, I don't want all those things. I want only one, logo and as well as footer. That is enough for me. Like that, whatever the pages will be there and where it has to be stored, where it has to be comes. And even when preparing of this one, what we have to do that, we need to maintain the measurements also. Say for example, if it is in a DIN 4, DIN 4 in the sense of A4 paper size. In this A4 paper, what we have to do that, if in the page 1, the window 1, that means the logo has to be comes into the left margin with the centimeters and upper margin with the centimeters, and even window height and width. That means what it is asking that you are preparing this one window with the name of window 1 and that window 1 comes in the page 1 of left margin. That means from the left side where it has to be start and from the top where it has to be starts. What I am saying that here the left margin is in it 2 centimeters and the upper margin will be the 2 centimeters. That means the cursor position will be from the left 2 centimeters and the right top 2 centimeters. It will be starting here. And from here, what is the window height you want? For it has been started here. From here, what is the height you want? I need the 3 centimeters. That means here, the width also will be the 3 centimeters. That means it will becomes like this. This is one logo. Even with the header, something around again. I am given the header or the name or something, whatever. For that, what I am doing that in the P2, in the P1 and the P2, I am in require the header from 2 spaces has been gone and 3 spaces has been gone for the header, logo, and 5 spaces has been gone, and after that I need a 1 space. That means it has to be starts from 6 and the height should be the 3 centimeters, and window height will be the upper margin will be the 2 centimeters, and it has to be go for up to the 15 centimeters like this. That also has to be maintained here. And even after completion of this one, by default the main window will becomes with the upper margin, lower margin, and everything we have to mention. And after that, the footer, how the footer has to becomes for yours. Like that, everything which you need to maintain is in a manual. And even if you want to write anything in the header or the footer or the matter and something, whatever the matter and everything, there what we have to do that in the 5th step, what we have to say that we need to create the paragraph formats. Paragraph formats. In this paragraph formats, I have taken as a name PG, the paragraph format. There I am saying that it should be the length of the 12, that means the size of the 12, and even it should be the length of the 12, and it was in a bold italic, and it should be the times format. And even the character format. Even the character format. How the character format? Something CR. It should be the 20 characters length, and it should be the bold and italic, and it should be the Arial. That means whatever the data which we are entering onto the main or body or anything somewhere, it should be comes with these of the things. And after completion of these 6 parts, now we need to, in the 7th one, we need to add the logo. That means insert logo for W1. That means in the window 1, what is the logo you want? Whether it is the color logo or the black and white logo, your wish. And even for the W2, the text, W3, the matter something around, and the W4 something around. What it was, it is in a script form. So it was called as a script. That is called as a traditional method. It is good, not a problem at all. But what the client is asking that, even some more, that is a human psychology which is there. If you can give the A, they can ask the Y also, B also, something whatever. The more. As like as here also, we have given something. This will be good. But the client is asking some more instead of this one. What they're saying that, instead of this one, okay, the order number is good, and the pages is fine, and the windows is fine, and the page windows is fine, and whatever the data, everything, the process is fine. But I want to add the main problem is that this one. Every time when you are preparing the smart form or a script form, for every window we need to maintain something, sizes and everything. We have to measure with the scales and everything. That's what I'm not satisfying with that one. From the client, they are saying that they are not satisfying with this one. Okay, this is the problem once. Okay, fine. And the next one, what is the problem with this scripts? In the sense of what they're asking that here, whatever the window which is coming to here with the borders, that means it has to be maintained in a style. In this style, the logo or the window has to be maintained with the border, border line, and border color, and the border color, even the background color of the window. That means background color of the window. Like that, we can create some styles in before of preparation of this something form. We can prepare this style in the ZSTA, just style. In the smart form, what we are doing that, first of all, we have prepared this Z style. And the same thing, in the next, what we are doing that, we are going for the form, what are the pages, what are the windows, but one creation of these windows, in output options, what they are doing that, they are adding this Z style. That means, for the window of the logo, Z style, automatically it can be applicable the border and logos and everything. Even for the everyone, even for every window, they have been added, that's one. And after that, what is the page windows? In which page the windows has to be? And here, I don't want this one. This is the major problem with for the smart forms. For that, what they are doing that, simply they are asking about of the drag and drop. Drag and drop. Just simply what they are saying that some X is there. Here the window will be there. You just put into here, just select it and drag it and drop it. Automatically the window has to be placed into that particular place. That's what we can call as a drag and drop. And that also has been done by through the smart forms. And even after completion of this one, in the style we can maintain the paragraph format and even this one. And after that, the same thing, nothing will be different. The only thing is in the output side, when you are preparing the scripts, there is not an output of the something colors wise. Even if you can go for the smart forms, it's having the automation tool with using the drag and drop of facilities and even with the colors and the borderlines and everything. So this is what we can call as a scripts and smart forms. Even you can ask that, okay Mr. You, as per you are saying that you have prepared the one order or one output format like this, which is an as a script form or a smart form or whatever it was. Then what I have to do this one, which we have discussed. This is the requirement from the functional team. The functional team has been asked about of this to add to this form into their output of the purchase order or the sales order. That means what we have to do that for that, we can go for the transaction code of the NACE. We can go for the transaction code of the NACE. Under that, we have selected the document type of the V. On SAP, the document type of the V is indicates with the sales. So by using this indication of the V or the sales, under that what you want? I want the sales order. I want to apply this for the sales order. So under the sales order, there is a different types of the outputs will be there for which output you want. So by the email output or the printout output or else the EDA output, which output you want. So I want to change the output for the printout. Then you can choose the printout out option, and there for the printout you can change the form name by the existing form name to your form name of Z Smart Form or else Z Script Form. Like that, whenever you have changed that form name or you have added that form name into for your business transaction or the business document, whenever the functional consultant has been running that business transaction, automatically the system is taking that smart form or the script form for that business transaction. So this is called as a scripts and smart forms. So what is the forms in the sense of it is nothing but like the scripts and smart forms which is used for the business transactions and the business documents outputs. Whenever we are doing any of the transaction which is in a business document of the sales order, purchase order, inquiry, quotations or delivery notes or whatever it was, or any transaction that requires the outputs, the SAP system is already having some of the output forms. Instead of that output forms, we can add some new output forms also for our business transactions by using these scripts and smart forms. Basically, the major difference in between of the scripts and smart forms is the scripts are used for the traditional method and the smart forms is in a non-traditional method. In the traditional method, we are not having the colors to apply the background styles and everything. But in the traditional, instead of the traditional format in the smart forms, we can have the everything. And even in the scripts, we are not having, in the scripts, we have to choose the options for the measurements for each and everything in the manually. But in the smart forms, it will be automatically comes by using the drag and drop. The only difference is that one. And even in the smart forms, if you have created one style, that style can be used for the multiple of a number of smart forms also. That means if you have prepared one style, that style can be used with the multiple of the times for the multiple of the formats also. That is the main purpose of the scripts and smart forms, the differences of the scripts and smart forms. So I think so it is very useful for you everyone. And when you are going to the interview session, the interviewer is not asking about of the process. Even if they are not asking about of the process, they can ask the questions from the scripts and smart forms. Like some example, live example type, say for example of one live example. In the live example, if one person has been came for the interview, as an interviewer which I am asking, okay mister, from the functional department, we have the requirement of the output. That means the client or the functional consultant of the sales team, they are asking the one report or one output with their own format, as like as their letterhead, say something. In the top of the page, they require their logo. And in the after the logo, they want to put in the name. And the top down of the screen, they want to, or top down of the page, they want to maintain their address. And in between of that windows, there has to be maintained as one output. How we can do that? That means the client has been asking this requirement. As an ABAP, we can say that we can do this by using the scripts and smart forms. Even the SAP system is also having some of the predefined forms, which has been mentioned with the F150 underscore DUNN underscore 01. That is called as a without interest dunning form. That dunning form can be used by the financial team. Even for the financial team, they are using the with interest dunning forms also, payment reminder notices. Even they can use the automatic payment programs also for the dunning outputs, for the output formats. Even if from the purchasing department, purchase order and the incoming stock and the purchase invoice and everything. And even from the sales department, inquiries, quotations, orders, deliveries, for each and every business document can have an output. That output can be defined by this scripts and smart forms. And so much of the thanks for yours, everything, and thank you so much.